If you're in student government, you totally know the feeling. A meeting full of amazing ideas that just goes absolutely nowhere. So how do you turn all that passion into actual change without the conversation just spiraling into total chaos? Well, today, we're going to unlock the official toolkit designed to do exactly that, Robert's Rules of Order. Here's the game plan. We're going to start with the why these rules even exist in the first place. Then we'll dive into the core mechanics, how to introduce an idea, how to shape the conversation, and of course, how to keep your meetings from going off the rails. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by showing how this all connects directly to your role in student government.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1. Why on earth do meetings need rules? Let's talk about taking your meetings from total chaos to crystal clarity.
Seriously, let me ask you this. Have you ever been in one of those meetings where everyone's talking at once? You know, where a truly fantastic idea gets brought up, but then it just gets completely buried under a dozen different side conversations? It's so frustrating, right? And honestly, it's a huge waste of everyone's time and passion.
And that is exactly why rules matter so much. A good system, a good set of rules, make sure that every single person gets a chance to speak, not just the loudest people in the room. It actually protects the rights of the minority, so a brilliant idea from a smaller group can't just be ignored or steamrolled. And at the end of the day, it's what allows for truly democratic decisions and keeps the meeting focused and actually moving forward.
Now here's the kicker. This isn't just some good suggestion I'm throwing out there. Nope, this is a direct quote from your HESGA Constitution. It's the official, required system for how your meetings are supposed to run. You've actually already agreed to it.
Okay, so if these rules are basically the law of the land, how do they actually work? That brings us right into Section 2, the main motion process. This is probably the single most important tool you have for bringing a brand new idea to the table.
So what even is a main motion? It's really simple. It's just a formal proposal. It's the official way you stand up and say, hey everyone, I think our group should do this very specific thing. Seriously, every single decision, every event planned, every dollar spent, it all starts its life as a main motion. Let's make this real. Imagine you're part of the talent show commission. You need some money for decorations. You wouldn't just casually say, hey, we need some cash. You'd make a formal motion. You'd say something exactly like this. I move to allocate $50 for the talent show decorations. See how that's specific, it's clear, and it's something the group can actually vote on?
And once you've made a motion, it goes on this very clear 7-step journey. First, you make the motion, then someone else has to say second, which just means they think it's an idea worth talking about. After that, the chairperson officially states the motion for the whole group. That opens the floor for debate. Once the debate is over, you vote. And finally, the chair announces the result. It's a super predictable path that takes you from an idea to an actual decision.
Okay, on to Section 3, changing the conversation. Because, let's be real, not every idea is perfect right out of the gate. So let's look at the tools you have to tweak and manage emotion once it's already on the floor.
So, what happens if you think spending money on the talent show is a great idea, but maybe you think the amount is a little off? You don't have to just vote no and kill the whole thing. You've got another tool in your belt. You can amend the motion. It's a fantastic way to work together to make a good idea even better.
So, using our talent show example, you could stand up and say, I move to amend the motion by striking out $50 and inserting $75. And here's what happens. The group then debates and votes on your amendment first. If your amendment passes, the debate then continues on the new modified motion to spend $75. Pretty cool, right? Now, what if you just need to pause the discussion? This is a big one that confuses a lot of people. Think of it like this. Laying on the table is like pulling the emergency brake. You do it when something way more urgent comes up and there's no set time to come back to it. Postponing, on the other hand, is like hitting the pause button with a plan. You're actually scheduling a specific time to pick the discussion back up. All right, let's dive into Section 4. This is your practical toolkit, your go-to cheat sheet for all the common actions you can use in your very next meeting to keep things running like a well-oiled machine. You ever been in a debate that just goes on and on and on in circles? Yeah, there's a motion for that. It's called moving the previous question. This is the formal way of saying, hey, I think we've all said our piece, let's just vote already. Now, because it cuts off debate, it's a pretty powerful move. And that's why it requires a 2/3 majority to pass, to make sure the minority still had a fair chance to be heard. And here it is, your ultimate cheat sheet. Seriously, screenshot this. If you want to bring up a new idea, you say, I move that. If you want to change it, I move to amend. Tired of talking and ready to vote? I move the previous question. This table tells you exactly what to say, whether you can debate it, and what kind of vote you need. It's the practical language of getting stuff done.
All right, let's bring this all home. Section 5, your role in the room. How does all this procedural stuff apply specifically to the HESGA structure you're a part of?
Just take a look at this. You've got your executive committee, your legislative assembly, and your judicial committee. Robert's rules are the system. They're the common language that allows all three of these branches to work together effectively and make decisions. You can think of it as the engine that makes your entire government structure actually run.
And get this, your Constitution even creates a specific role just for this stuff. The parliamentarian. Their job, and I'm quoting this directly from your own governing document, isn't just to keep meetings orderly, but to provide continuous training on the parliamentary procedure. This knowledge is so vital, you actually have an officer whose whole job is to be an expert on it.
So I really want you to let that sink in for a second. These aren't just some abstract, dusty old rules from a book. Because they are literally written into your Constitution, they are your rules for your student government, designed to make your work more effective and fair.
And at the end of the day, it all comes down to this: the power of one. One single student with one well-thought-out idea can literally change school policy, create a brand new event, or improve life for everyone, but only if they know the procedure to make their voice heard in a way that actually leads to action.
So the single most crucial point is this. Please don't think of these rules as restrictive or boring. Think of them as tools for empowerment. They level the playing field. They are a system designed from the ground up to make sure every single voice has a chance to be heard and every good idea gets a totally fair shot. So there you have it. You have the toolkit, you know the language, you understand the procedure. The only question left is, what change are you going to propose first?